The Commerce Minister has kicked the responsibility for any investigation into Kiwisaver providers who are investing in weapons manufacturers to the police. Official advice provided to the Minister Paul Goldsmith this afternoon sets out the laws that apply to Kiwisaver providers and their investments. The papers state that knowingly investing in companies that make cluster bombs is illegal under a law passed in 2009. In terms of nuclear weapons and landmines, the law does not specifically talk about the investment of funds, but it does say that it is an offence to aid, abet or assist a person to manufacture or possess such weapons. Paul Goldsmith says he expects Kiwisaver providers to follow the law, but told our Deputy Political Editor Chris Bramwell that it's not his job to make sure they do.
It's not appropriate for a minister to make judgments about who is breaking the law or not. That's something that the relevant enforcement agency would have to work through, and it's up to them to look into that if they think it's appropriate. And it's absolutely not appropriate for me as Minister to get into those sorts of discussions.
Would you get advice, though, about whether or not they are breaking the law?
Oh, well, I mean, the advice that you've got a copy of, which I received this afternoon, was quite clear that my MB officials haven't made any assessment of how New Zealand Kiwisaver providers are complying with these laws.
But why not ask? Why not ask for that?
Well, because it's not even appropriate for a ministry to decide who is and who isn't breaking the laws of the land. That's not how It's not how the system works. The system works that you have a ministry developing the laws, and the laws being passed by Parliament, and ministers being responsible for that. But the enforcement of the laws, the assessment as to whether or not they are being broken or not, is absolutely appropriately in the field of the enforcement agency and the courts.
I understand that, but I mean, how do they then decide to investigate? Is it up to just myself as a Kiwisaver investor to file a complaint with the police? There's kind of a gap here.
Well, people can, of course, make a complaint to the police if they think that's appropriate. And the police obviously have a discretion to investigate whatever they think is appropriate as well.
Why would these providers bother complying with the law? Do they just kind of invest wherever and hope that no one makes a complaint?
Well, you'd have to ask the providers what they're thinking. I'm sure, and we've certainly seen over the last few days that they've been responding to public interest in this, and a number of them have said that they're going to be reviewing their policies, and a number of them have been responding, to greater levels of interest in their investments, and so that's as you would expect.
It's the Commerce Minister Paul Goldsmith. The police say they are making inquiries with other agencies to gather more information, which they say will be assessed in due course.